time is it? I guess we get
It's
started.
snug time.
Usually people just draw or come in during or halfway through. I don't think a lot of people can make this time, even though I think a lot of the West Coasters maybe. Okay, so today we have Cheese to talk about Scout. Cheese is professional scout. I believe
Semi-professional.
semi-professional scout. Probably one of
Is that
the
word? Sorry.
last class or the last players that can actually really scout properly, I would say. Probably one of the highest skill cap classes in TFC now.
It's a dangerous class to be good at. People will be angry at you when you take their flag.
Okay, so I guess. Oh, let me do it. There we go. Okay, so I guess we can go through some basics and then I guess kind of talk about how you would play Scout and your thought processes and stuff like that. You want a specific map?
Might be easiest just to go open fire. It's always a classic.
Okay.
But if people have specific questions, like I don't have like a prepared lecture or anything like that.
I have a question. What is the most frustrating thing about playing Scout for you?
I mean, heavy weapons guys are like the top tier heavy weapons guys are really good, so it's hard to play Scout on any kind of open map. Demo men are really good now. Like if you play Demo Man, it's like Wheaties or Doug or me. It's really hard to get anything done unless you're like super top tier Scout. Unfortunately, you have to like really time your runs with your medics killing things or do something really clever to move the flag more than a toss.
So don't play Scout if you're not clever.
I was gonna say the hardest thing about being a good scout is playing against other good people.
I mean,
Makes sense.
but you know who you're playing against, right? Some games it you can practice at a lower level. Some games it doesn't make sense. If you're just trying to improve and you don't care about winning the game, obviously, you know, play what you want to play and improve on. I don't think anybody minds as long as those expectations are known.
Have you met the TFC community?
So if
I
you're
don't think
playing,
anybody reasonable minds if the expectations are.
so if you're playing Scout on open fire, what are your priorities? What do you do?
So 4v4, this is one conk, is the ramp slide. I don't know if ramp slide is something I should go over. Like, do people know how to ramp slide?
They may or they may not. Why don't you go ahead and go
Doesn't
over
hurt
it?
to go over it, yeah.
Just to be safe.
Just to come, yeah.
So in TFC, there are ramps, and usually they pop you straight up if you just conk into them. So in order to go over them smoothly, you have to time pressing crouch right as you get near the end. And in TFC, that puts you over the ground that you're on for a split second. That's more or less why chop hop works as well. So it's just a timing thing. It's hard to explain, you just have to play around with it. It's just before you get to the lip. And you need to be going at high speed in order to get over the elevator. The higher the speed, the better. So you want to try to time your prime so that you're at max B hop. You know, having a good bunny hop is very important for scout. You want to be able to like get max speed within like 1 or 2 strafe jumps. Like if you accidentally cap out, you re-strafe jump right away instead of like trying to re-pick up speed. Does that make sense? Does everybody know like what capping out is? Going over 170 and slowing down?
What's the password?
NLC.
So if I'm going fast, then all of a sudden I go slower, that means I went over like the maximum speed cap of 170%, like that. And that, you want to try to avoid it, so once you get high speed, you stay straight. You're going to gain speed as you strafe back and forth in the air, as long as your jumps are timed correctly. So you really want to work on like strafe jump into pretty much max speed within 1 or 2. That's pretty important for all classes, but especially for scout and medic.
We've had some people try to explain how to time their conk to their bunny hop. Do you have what's your perspective on how to time
It's an
when you're
experience
time?
thing. Like once you've done it so often, you'll know like, oh, it's off. And so instead of like doing a jump instantly, I have to wait and re-strafe jump, like just to like adjust the timing or something.
Is there anything that you can point to say that this should be this should be synced up, or do you just not even think about it?
I remember, you know, for certain maps, like when back in the old days, I would have like rules. Like I would go here. I'd be like, I'm gonna prime here, wait like 2 beeps, and then do full B hop. That was like a rule that I had. Like here, go, all jumps now. So you can find timings like that make it simpler for you to do it. You know, you'll be like spending a little bit of time to get to the place where you know how to do it. Like here's another place that I had a timing back in the day. Pretty much full on jumps. But even then I'm in the habit of just getting a little bit better by doing a little bit of a wait to jump to adjust the timing. It's just such a habit at this point. But while this conk is high skill, it's hard. Like if heavy is in position, he'll usually mow you down unless you have a really strong conk. Here's one run, which is instantly prime. Go here, prime, prime again. One chop down. So that can be pretty powerful if soldier is distracted. Maybe juke once, get the flag, one chop down. So, depending on the rules of the pickup channel you're in, 1 duck is usually allowed. And it's pretty powerful for scout. It's not that interesting for most other classes unless you're doing like a really powerful double conk or something. But for scout, you can really get a boost through the demo man by hitting duck once when you hit the ground. Like in TFC, it just basically takes your feet off the ground and you get less friction. So on down conks, just hit duck once and you go farther. So one place that's good to practice it is the elevator. Because you can tell, so I'll show you what happens if I don't do it from this far back. Just like don't go anywhere. But now I'm gonna do the same thing from same distance with 1 duck. Oops, sorry. So from quite far distance back, you can get boosted out. And that's just hitting, you know, control once, nothing special going on. Just, straight old duck, just tap it. It's just a timing thing. And one thing a lot of people don't know is that if you view it from third person, the amount of like leg pumps that you see is not related to the number of ducks you hit, it's related to the speed. How much distance you travel. It just keeps playing the animation if you go too far. One exception is Milos. If you watch Milos, he's always hitting duck 5 times. Doesn't matter what it looks like. So in 4v4s and open fire, it's hard to do this conk, but here's another run. Prime again. Straight to flag here. But it's pretty hard these days because battlement soldiers just kind of stay there all the time. But if you're, can juke a little, this conk as well, down. You don't even need duck there if you've got high speed. Like being able to strafe into your conk is important. So like a lot of beginning players I see, they just kind of like walk forward like this. It's not a fast conk. You have to be able to like do the same thing you do for strafe into B hop while you're conking. It's a big speed difference. It's pretty much required to be effective in any high level game. Here's a run, one duck down, get the flag. Sever top bridge. It could be a very dangerous run. Another trick on this map is like maybe you have the flag and there's a soldier there waiting. You come down, ramp slide here. Another trick. It's important as scout to not just go for the flag immediately against like a demo man or even soldiers. Like you have to juke. Juke once, then go, something like that. Like you have to switch it up. You have to like decide to immediately go sometimes to make them respect it. And you have to know your opponent. You have to know their skill level. Like some people react slower, and if you juke, they'll actually die more. You have to know who you're playing against. It's kind of a beginner conk. Get all the way here, or a double conk. Knockout bats. Obviously everything is just so much different in an actual game, though. So the best thing to do is just watch demos. Somebody playing real games at high level.
Would you say now that as a scout, you need to do more fancy conks in order to be effective?
Fancy, I don't know. I think it's more important that you have high skill just in general. Like you're always able to adapt, go quickly, like make a lot of runs. It's better to just die quickly if your run dies out. So you get that fresh run back, get your 3 conks back. Then like try to stay alive with 20 health and 1 conk and the heavy can see you from far away, that sort of thing. You just want to die and get back. But one thing you can do to be really helpful against Demo Man is, like, if you know you're going to die and you're not going to have a good chance to get the flag, but you're close to it, you want to debt the pipes. Just do whatever you can to debt the pipes. Let someone else get the flag.
Thank you.
So open fire has a bunch of tricks, but they require a lot of practice. What other popular maps people play Scout on? So shutdown 2, it can be important to have a scout, especially when the flag's out. But it's a very high skill map as well. Hmm. Let's go shutdown 2. So good ramp soldiers, it's really hard to get by them. But in a game where you have like good medics you can depend upon, there will be plenty of times where he's distracted by, fighting someone top ramp, or the flag room's a mess and so he has to retreat. You'll be able to get in quick and you just want to know how to do it quick. Just get the ramp slide, you can hug one of the walls, you can do it either side, or you can go middle. If nobody's there, it doesn't really matter. And you pick a side to go in. Do it from here as well. Straight into the back of the T. And this can be pretty devastating, because like if this guy's distracted, he's gonna have like half a second to calm. And if the flag is out, like here or something, you just can be grabbed, gone, before like anybody really can pay attention to you, as long as there's anything distracting them. Getting the flag out is often very difficult though. So
Do you wait in prime and try to conk from the T, or run out to the flag room and
So
try
if you
to
know
juke
the soldier is distracted, you can try to just go straight in. Gun's not gonna have time to kill you. You're gonna be able to at least toss, if not do more. If there's a good soldier that knows how to play against scout, like playing against like Wheaties or Doug that knows I'm on the other team, like they're just gonna sit here. They're gonna block this. And if gun's up, you can try to go left or right, but it's still gonna be tough. Like any time you try to do any clever conk left or right, like the gun has more time to shoot you. You're basically gonna get one shot if the gun is up. So it can be very difficult to get the flag out as scout with the gun up, unless this soldier is like completely distracted by some mess going on in the flag room. So I usually have to do something like clever, like I'm going this way, no, I'm going this way, or something like that. It can be difficult. So like if you see that you're playing against a soldier hugging that way, and they're always ready for you, and mess isn't happening to let you get in, you may have to wait, play scout until the flag is out. When it's out, you have a lot of opportunities when you get in. You just go for it. It's usually you're distracted by something. Gun won't be a problem at that point. So there's also plank plays. Prime immediately. Oh, I screwed it up a little. The idea is to be able to conk there as quickly as possible. Prime here. If you don't hit walls, it's a very quick run here. If you can get the flag and he's got his, head turned or something, just have the flag, and it's pretty hard to react to full speed scout without perfect comms. Flag. Sometimes you can like conk over their head like that if you're lucky. But you have to be careful, because if flag gets stuck in the T, then you have no room to maneuver, and it can be tough to do anything. So getting by the ramp soldier who's in position can be tricky, because good soldiers these days they'll just like sit on one side, they'll shoot the other side. So they have a good chance to like either block you or stop you. So then you can do this conk, try to go over, and like pick something interesting to do. Oh, no, I'm going this way, nope. going back this way. Even if you don't get in, you're like creating a mess so other people can get in. And that's honestly what I would recommend medics do as well, if soldiers in position. Just do like a straight up conk and just mess around. Try to create openings. You can do like change up conks, like yeah. And then if they shoot first, then you might have an opportunity to run by. That's an important strategy against the better players to change up your speed.
When do you decide to get off of scout and play, medic for a run or two? Or
Well, when Doug starts yelling at you, that's usually a good time.
Right.
But yeah, it's I mean, it's just an experience thing. You'll start to notice like when you're getting things done versus not. Like if you're not consistently tossing the flag, getting movement as scout, then pretty unambiguous. You got to get off scout, right? Like if you're not killing anything as scout, so if you're not getting a lot of movement consistently, there's not much point unless you're just playing to improve, right? But it is subtle, like it's probably a bit map dependent. It'd be hard to tell like how much movement is worth not having grenades.
How do you decide what route you take each run? Is it based on comms or is it death messages?
Death messages are definitely very important for all classes. Like you should always be paying attention to what's going on. What your teammates are telling you and what the death messages tell you. And you have to like know how long it takes people to get back in position. Like if I just spawn here and I see that, on the death messages that the plank soldier just died. Like I think an amateur mistake is like someone's like, oh, plank's dead, and so you remember that and you're gonna go plank this run. But actually you shouldn't, because he's like guaranteed to be back by the time you get there. So you have to pay attention to what's going on and like the timing that'd be normal for like a decent skilled player to get back into position. Very tough on this map to get anything done without like some sort of chaos being added. And then at that point, I think you just make as many runs as possible to try to maximize your utility. But I would say Shutdown 2 is probably the hardest scout map to be good at, especially against good defense. Is there a particular map that people are interested in? It's like maybe Stop, be the classic.
Yeah, a couple people say stop earlier and Phantom. But
Let's go Stop. Phantom's a little trickier, I think. So everyone knows this slide probably. This conk can get the button. You want to bump your head off the top here.
You want to?
So it puts you straight down. If you go straight
Oh.
up, you're just gonna floaty down and it's more time for the demo man to bet you.
that does mean the soldier can shoot that roof on you, but really fast scouts are really hard to hit.
I mean, a good soldier in position, it's hard to get by no matter what. Same head bump puts you up here straight to the flag. So you have a decision to make when you get here. You can insta toss, and if you're against a good demo man, this toss is very, very important on this map, especially against good defense, because it's just so much more opportunity for people conking in here with the gun up to just, get a little touch and a little toss, and then like all hell breaks loose on this map when it gets down here. The big holds on Stop are when guns up here, You've got like a monster heavy, you've got a smart soldier just blocking things, not doing anything fancy. Just lots of spam. It's just really hard to get that first toss. So if you get in clean like that, it's you usually just want to go for one big toss as quickly as possible. But if it's a mess and you don't think the demo's paying attention or he's dead, you know, just keep going straight out. But typically you're going for that toss. That's button. The next run. Flag. Up and out. So one thing that's important with Scout is if you think you're gonna have a chance to go after you land, you can't hit jump. So like if you land and just hit jump, you cap out. Like you go slow. It's like instant, because you're going so fast from your conch. You instantly cap out. So you want to wait just a split second. Slide, go. It's kind of a skill feel thing. It's hard to learn, but very important to be effective. Wait till I land, and then strafe jump real quick. There's this double conch. Do interesting stuff like this to get the button. There are all kinds of slightly different variations to that. This one as well. Getting off the ramp, just depends on how much speed you get. It's hard to be like super precise about it. Up a flag there and go out. So people calm slidable here. It's, you know, for that conch that I just showed. Pick it up here, go out that way. It's usually pretty much guaranteed cap. Pick it up, go this way. Hopefully don't hit that lip.
There was a question.
It's another one is like if the flag is out in this area, if you can do the one duck trick to get speed just blasting through here, it's similar to the top of elevator on open fire. Just blast all the way across with one duck hit. Go ahead with the question.
There was a question on what conchs are there when the flag is out.
This is the one I just explained. Get the flag, one duck. Be very devastating against any but the top demo man. They just don't know what your double conch timing is. Could go off right away, it could be a slight delay. And if they're off by just like a split second, if you've got the one duck timing, you can just be instantly gone. It's very hard to play demo man when the flag's out against a good scout on this map. When it's here, slidable, same thing. You're just trying to do the double ramp slide out. So like knowing how to hit this and then hit this reliably is super important. So one thing that can happen is like you're trying to get in the flag room this way, but the soldier is ready. He's just sitting here blocking. He's waiting for you. He's just shooting here every time you come up, and you find that you just can't get in. And so you're like, okay, well I gotta go main, but like Neon or Country is sitting here, and they're just mowing you down, and you just can't get anything done. You know, that can happen. And at that's kind of the point you'd probably want to get off scout. You want to get off scout until the flag, you know, maybe you get a toss to here or get it out. If your soldiers aren't creating, or sorry, if your medics aren't creating enough opportunities for you to sneak in, it can be tough to do anything as scout until flag is tossed. It's just not much room to maneuver. Like you can fake over here, reprime. Sometimes I like to dance around here, then you know try to fake a bit, but it's hard to do anything. I might do this and dance around and like dodging, weaving, and trying to get in like this, but it doesn't have the greatest success rate against good players. So you can just try to go main. Oh, well, that door's down. Boom, you're in main, try to find something to do. But it can be tough, like if gun's up, nothing doing, pretty much. Heavy's up, sees you coming. It's got enough time to shoot you probably. He's a decent aim, so it can be tough to do anything in main as scout. Usually it's the surprise factor from the speed at top. Do something like this, try to get in. But you're mostly relying on your medics to create chaos. Kind of a common theme. Scout really can't do anything on its own against a good team. It's gotta be team play. Any other specific stop questions?
That's scout. If you get knocked in the water, do you just suicide or try to finish a run?
Kill feed, yeah. Like anything that like really delays your run as scout, you just, if you want, or if you can, you want to kill yourself without taking the 5-second delay. Like, see someone drop the nade in the water, you want to scoot over to it, try to let that kill you instead. But like, I wouldn't swim through the water or anything like that. I think that's a waste of time in almost all situations. Sometimes when the flag is like here, be a surprise factor. But good teams will usually time you and know, well, that's 3, where's the 4th? Check water or something like that.
So there's a question on flag in the yard, and
There are a couple tricks, yeah. This one. It's kind of a high skill conk, but it can be pretty useful. Immediately prime, hit this thing, and then try to get the timing as close as possible to just, blast by the demo man. Usually there's so much chaos at the front door, like, you're gonna get the flag one at one of these times. Special trick here, I'm just like, straight into it, and maybe strafe a little. I don't know how to explain. There's nothing special I'm doing.
Red security is now operating.
Just blast off it. Faster you're going, the better. You can do it as medic too, it's harder, but. You try to get the angle such that you're coming behind the defense. Sometimes they won't spot you. But in general, you want to land like fake, demo in, and then try to go. Just knowing how to like land, kind of fake a little bit, and use your next conk to go with the flag if they det. It's just a general scout skill on any map. The heavy's dead, you have time. Just put in some random amount of jukes. It's better not to be predictable.
did you say you're always holding a conch?
Pretty much. Unless you're like really setting up a specific conk, you probably always want to be holding one. So prime immediately, spawn. Prime immediately. Prime again. Dance around here. Maybe I'll get a shot. Insta toss. Would be like an example run. Prime immediately. Prime again.
security has been deactivated. The enemy has your flag.
Time again.
The enemy has your flag.
Lucky. Right. Would be pretty hard to get a run like that against good defense. It's usually better, you know, unless you know your team's much higher skilled, to just move the flag forward as much as you can safely. If you get down to like 3 life or something, you just want to like jump toss and get big tosses like that real quick.
Is now operating.
You don't want to just
The
like do
enemy
this.
has your
It's like
flag.
you can always like strafe jump toss.
The enemy has your flag.
Just get a little farther.
For those tosses, do you
Red security
spam your
is
toss
now
button
enemy
against a
has
good demo,
your flag.
or when
Blue
you
Um,
press
security
toss?
has
I
been
use mouse wheel for
deactivated.
toss. So that way you can just kind of like spin it like as you enter the flag, if you want the insta toss. So
The
I don't know
enemy
how
has
controversial
your
using
flag.
hardware is to do this but like I think most people in general are okay with like you have a mouse wheel, you know, you can put something on mouse wheel. You know, B-up scripts. I use a B-up script for jump spamming.
Yeah, I think it's fine since people do use, like, I have jump on my mouse wheel.
Yeah, so you're welcome.
The enemy flag
Yeah.
has returned.
So like being able to consistently B-hop, especially for scout, is super
Security
important.
is now
So
operating.
what I actually do is I have more jump spams on scout than I do on other classes. If you have too many in your script, it can interfere with like rocket jumping for soldier. But like for scout, there's really not any reason not to put more in there. There's not much else you want to do that's going to interfere with, from my experience. So like I can press spacebar like pretty high up, and I almost never miss a jump. I would say if like you're missing jumps, go add a few more until it never happens. Have to be careful with soldier.
Yeah. So there was a question on what button do you hold when you ramp slide?
The enemy flag has returned.
You hold a button. It's the duck. The duck when you hit the top of the ramp is the only trick with ramp slide.
Oh, I think they were asking, do you hold W or do you just hold your strafe
Blue
keys?
security
You
has
whatever
been
direction you're trying to go. So
deactivated.
that's, you know, for me A or D. So left or right. You're never holding W. So W in TFC is pretty much unused at high level. So like when you start a strafe jump, like it's used briefly. So I'm like AW, so left forward here while I move my mouse. Here, no more W. No more W. There's no W. No W. W a little. No more W. It's like briefly on strafe jump or strafe conk, and then it's gone. So I'm just spacebar. So like once you have full speed, you can do whatever you want as long as your spacebar has got the right timing. Your jump's got the right timing. So that's how you see like people like DMing like this and shit. Not really doing anything interesting. They're just,
Blue
you know,
security
they've got the
is now
jump timing down,
operating.
turned around in midair. That's it. Strafe just as normal. It's like B-hopping backwards, not really any different. Other than you can't see where you're going.
Go to Phantom, unless there's other questions.
Yeah, sure.
What's your sensitivity on when you are on scout? Like how it seems like it's pretty high.
Yeah, I don't know how to translate sensitivity just because it like
Yeah.
depends on your mouse settings and your Windows settings and your DPI settings and all this.
Well,
this whole
the really tried and true way to translate it is how far do you move your mouse to turn 360 degrees?
Yeah, so I would say that this is like a standard mouse pad length for me, all the way that. I'll go back. So what's that,
Is
like
it?
5 or 6 turns or
Yeah,
something?
that's pretty high. Is that your? Is that specific to scout
Nope.
or
I use
all?
that for everything, and my aim is terrible. So,
Gotcha.
so
How
that's why
big's
I
your
have
mouse pad?
this for soldier, so I can hit shotties, piss heat off because I'm using too many scripts. But I think it's important to have high sensitivity for scouts. So you can like turn on the spot, make quick decisions about whether you're going to toss or whatever like that, and like really flick the, the flag if you need to. PS is actually an interesting topic for TFC. So some people don't know that like the Half-Life engine is just written poorly. I mean, it was good for its time, but it's not an FPS independent engine. It's got like weird quirks. It's like if you play any modern game, there's nothing about the physics of the game that's supposed to change when you change your frame rate. It's supposed to just affect how visually, smooth things look. But like physically, you're supposed to get the same results. But the Half-Life 1 engine is not like that. And there's been changes over the years. I would say like you need to do what you need to do to get over 100 FPS, and then you're probably okay. Things just start feeling better, they're more consistent. I don't know the exact reason for that, but it just seems to have some weird FPS dependent stuff in there. And it really starts to feel better at around 100 or higher. So if you've got like a 60 hertz monitor, which is pretty common, you need to turn VSync off, so you can get higher refresh rate. You will have tearing on your screen most likely, but it's worth it to get the improved mobility, in my opinion. I played a lot like that over the years, just with screen tearing, but high frame rate. These days I've got a G-Sync monitor I run at like 162 or something, that you kind of get no tearing and high refresh rate. But those are more expensive modern monitors. Not that expensive these days. But if you got that old standard 60, you gotta turn VSync off.
Okay, let's go Phantom.
Yeah. Yeah, so probably Stop and Phantom are the two most played maps that have Scout as a real possibility to be effective. The others are more situational.
What about
And
Monkey?
what about
What about what? Sorry, Dewar?
Monkey?
I missed that again. I think your mic cut off a little.
Monkey?
Monkey. Well, we don't play Monkey that much anymore, but yeah, we can go over Monkey as well. Okay, so getting the button is just here, you prime. You want to bump your head as much as possible here, because if you just get up here and float down, it's going to be easy to hit you. So you're trying to bump your head, just like on Stop. Bump down. Same. Oh. No one saw that. So when button is down, you can go in this way. Same thing, bump your head straight into the flag. But it's going to be hard to get it tossed that way against a good demo man. So you can try. My favorite run against good demo man is actually to climb up here before I conk. I feel that like high speed conk from there is much more effective than trying to, like, people like to do this. It's like kind of slow, you're floating around, like good heavy will be shooting you in the air, demo will have like an extra half second to det you. So I'll usually like prime a pier or something. And then try to go faster conk like that. I think that's better against the more high skilled demo. So I think everybody knows that like what you want to do is try to toss the flag here. Because there are a lot of interesting slides to go out. You want to wait so you can conk without showing yourself. You can.
Security has the enemy as your flag.
You can go lower. That wasn't a very good conk.
Security
I would say on this map, you do want to try to go for coast to coast as scout if you can. That's kind of its value. So like if heavy is down, try to juke here, take flag, and then you can one duck here all the way down. It'd be pretty hard to catch you unless people are really prepared. Also safe to just toss. You get the opportunity to toss. It's a slidable. Like you think they're gonna kill you. You're just trying to like it's like grab the flag and instantly throw it up. Let me go get it. Oops. Oh, that was the other flag. Looks like flag is here. Creeping up this ramp. Instantly jump toss. So when the flag is unslidable, and you're playing against a good team, what's going to happen is you're not going to get any opportunities to go front. There's going to be a soldier here. There's going to be a heavy, like watching bats or something. Like gun's going to be up. It's going to be tough. It can be good to switch it up and go this way. Slide. Something like that. Where you're creeping in from behind with the second conk ready. And if they don't insta-det you, you can be gone pretty easily. You really need the comm from behind for the demo to be ready. If he's worried about the front slide, which is kind of the more low level TFC play that people are always trying to do, then, you know, they're not expecting you. You can even grab it here and go back the other way. Grab. If they're not watching behind, if they're watching forward, it'd be pretty tough to react. Or you might have to have like a really wide pipe trap. But it's hard to be precise with piping on that ramp. Land here and chop, like immediately, like one conk. There are like one conks, but they're hard to do. It's not something that I like find that I hit all the time in the game. Like I wouldn't go for it. You might try a play like that, one conk. You just have the one. I don't know anything that I could hit with like high certainty though. Sometimes flag gets on like these ramps here. Not so often, but then you want to try to hit that and go out like that. So you might be able to come up from here, here, and go out. So it can be a dangerous spot for the flag to be on defense. there's good defense, it can be hard to get. If it's like mediocre defense, the demo man doesn't know how to pipe the ramp well, it can be very dangerous from the hole. Because of that slide. It's because it's not that hard to conk. The flag is here, which is a common spot. It's like flag gets down here, they couldn't slide it, they tossed it. You know, it's kind of a slog, they throw it down here. And then you usually have like soldier front door, heavies watching bats, guns up here. It's kind of a mess to get anything done. Might be good to get off scout at that point. But if you can sneak in bats while they're not looking, prime here. Down conk, one chop. That's if there's an opening though. If it's like full everything in position, it can be tough. Might be worth getting off scout. You can also come in from behind, do the same thing. Try to hide here. One duck. But there's usually a ton of spam as well. So I think it's arguable you should just go medic immediately when the flag's in this area.
Cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do the bats conk to the flagon, do you hit on the ceiling? Yeah, that one. No. When you're going to the flagon, yeah, there.
Where? I don't hit the ceiling on that one. It may be that you can. Let's see. You can. I think it works either way fine. Might be easier to hit the ceiling actually, then you don't have to be so precise. That reminds me, another thing that's important is using lagless timers. So you don't have to worry about your ping so much. So if you try to hit off the ceiling, you can fail. That's probably why I don't do it. I prefer to do a forward conk. But it requires more precise timing.
Enemy flag.
I actually didn't use lagless timers during kind of like the main TFC era. But I find they make a really big difference now that I'm used to them. Just really important, the consistency. Especially on maps like Mortality or Raiden when you want to conk like up, straight up, top. Mesa as well. I don't think I have too much to say more about Phantom. Just this conk, get it out, toss it there. Coming from behind, double conk out or forward. You know, if they'll let you. Hide here, conk out front door. You can also fake and conk out bats, which can be dangerous if you get caught. But some people will find that like the good teams will rotate as soon as they see the slide happens. Like soldiers immediately rocket jump here, like heavies drop down here, so they're like guarding the two common exits. But you want to coast the flag because you don't get that many opportunities to have it clean. And so if you can conk from here straight to here, that can be a good thing to throw in the mix. So you have flag, you slide. Hide here to the bats. You might not want to do that more than once a game because probably be ready for it the second time. But once in a while, I think you got to do that to keep them honest. A lot of this stuff goes for playing medic as well. It's like sometimes it's even useful to have the extra health. You know, you get boosted off the slide and stuff like that just because you have extra health. You don't die immediately to the same runs. There's this trick here. Doesn't really do much, but nothing. So I don't know if people need to go over sharking. Assume you've done that already, Nuki.
Yeah, I have a video on sharking.
There's some B-up script versions that it didn't work with, but I think most people don't use them these days. So that's it for Phantom, unless anyone has any other questions. can be a chaotic and random map, so if things don't go your way one game, it's not necessarily you did anything wrong. It's kind of a messy map.
Okay, let's go monkey.
I pretty much have one trick on monkey. This is it.
As your flag.
That's it. I just try to do that over and over again. That's pretty much it.
Wait, I missed it. Can you do that again, please?
So you ramp slide and then you hit the wall and go back?
Yep.
Okay.
The enemy has your flag.
Just a normal ramp slide and you just strafe around. Just timing and pretty much it.
Is there a time when there's like how fast do the guns track that? I assume since you're conking forward, they only track after you turn around.
Your luck may vary. If you've got your back to the guns, I think some people figured out that you're less likely to be hit. Like if the gun sees you when your leg's already off the ground, then you might have extra time. I think that's what people discovered. But your luck may vary. Good demo man will be ready for this, so you might want to toss instead of trying to go for the coast. But if you're playing against hamster, you go for the coast every time.
Flag has returned.
And I like to conk out that way.
And what about the ramp slide going by T? What do you think about that? Conk?
If I try to go T, I usually try to chop in one duck like that. Like, good soldiers, it's just hard to get by. Like, they're just sitting here, they see you coming, they're gonna shoot you most likely. They have to be distracted, but sometimes if it's a mess in the flag room, going T can be useful.
And
So
the
there's,
T to the flag room. Oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was asking about the T to the flag room doing the mini ramp slide.
Yeah, I'm not so good at this one, actually. I think there are people that are better than me at this. I don't do this often. Like, I probably will take a few tries to try it.
Okay.
The reason I'm not good at it is because, like, in real games, it's hard to get in T that way. Soldiers just waiting for you. They can't even do it, probably. It's hard. You got a
Yeah.
tiny little window to slide.
Okay.
But it can be, yeah. It's a good conk if you get the opportunity. But as you can say, it's difficult even for me. There you go. And even then I screwed it up at the end. It's unfortunate pillar location. So if you can get good at this conk, you know, power to you. But I think it's very difficult. This one's much easier. And you've got two chances to get in, right? You can go in from this way, or you can go in from this way. These soldiers usually in position on this map. So in general, there are two strategies. There's go for the coast to coast, or you really want to move the flag to the ramp. So that's like the ideal toss. If you're playing against a good team, and there's not much chance to coast it. You want to get that toss there. It's hard to pipe, and there's a lot of opportunity to come in just down here and get the next toss. And then from here, there's a lot of options. I like to go out water a lot, like anytime I get the flag. Knock out water. You have to be careful though, like if you have low health and you conk and someone shotties you and falls water, people will be angry. But I think statistically it's best to go water from that position, like fake here and go out, something. If you can get in T and they're distracted, you can do something like this. Conk down. And one duck if people won't be too angry. You can go water and do the same thing. One duck here, get the flag from this position. But it can be hard if everyone's in position. Demo men will usually be staring down the water. So this map, it can be hard to cap against good defense. So the important things are, know how to do the slide, so if you have the opportunity to coast, it can be dangerous. Otherwise, you're going for this toss. And then the next one, ideally down there or something. And then you have lots of options. You can keep going, or you can go out this way. It's really hard for T-Soldier to react to that, so usually you're just out.
What's the most annoying gun spot for you on this map?
Well, sometimes people just get fed up with the ramp slide and they put the gun here to block it. And then you have to change up your strategy. Or sometimes the soldier will just sit on that ramp and won't move no matter what's going on. If you reach the level of scout where they're building their entire strategy around your ramp slide conch, then your medics will probably destroy them. But I have seen this happen. And you want to do this to toss. If the gun is up here, like often you have a chance to juke once and then the gun will push you into the flag and toss it. So you don't have to feel like you have to immediately go for the flag with the gun up. Like often you do have the ability to do like a single juke. Same thing goes with T conchs. Boom, and go. So maybe if you build a gun, you can demonstrate that, Nuki.
Oh, okay.
Actually an important general strategy point, not specific to Monkey. So you don't have to be that scared of the gun. Even as scout. Juke once, and then I have time. Just enough time. This position, you don't even care about gun. Oh, I missed, but see how much time there is. Okay.
Enemy flag has returned.
You might want to care a little bit. If it pushes you to the side, you might have to adjust for that. Didn't even do that much damage.
I think my gun's too good.
Your gun's too good. There we go. I think I just sucked the last few runs. It can be tricky, like sometimes it pushes you, it's just uncomfortable enough that you miss a little bit. Let me show the juke again. Juke. See how much time? Hey.
Oh. I thought you were gonna put the flag back.
The enemy has your flag.
Level 2? Juke. Plenty of time.
The enemy has your flag.
Oops.
The enemy has your flag.
Question on can you explain the mechanics of the 180 flick toss?
Well, obviously, the faster your sensitivity, the faster you theoretically can toss, right? And then it's just a feel. You gotta get used to it.
Enemy
I definitely
has
screw it up
your
occasionally,
flag.
but it's just something you gotta practice.
Enemy
That wasn't a good
has
one.
your flag.
It's better to be in position.
Enemy
It's like
has your flag.
you want to get ready so you don't have to do that much of a flick. So I'm like ready here to toss. That makes sense. Like turn my back to where I'm going at the last second. So you have just enough time to be stable at whatever skill level you're at.
Enemy has your flag.
It's just a skill thing you have to develop. So even that wasn't a perfect one, but still better than flag getting stuck here or something. When it's here, you can one toss it down.
Enemy has your flag.
Oh, perfect.
Enemy has your flag.
You can get a little slide on that ramp if you're really precise with it. Any more monkey questions?
Oh no, I'm good.
Any other maps?
I know it's not super often played, but I feel like Congestus
Enemy
is like
has your
kind of
flag.
unique scout map, just in the way that like it's really high conks. There's like some weird, kind of ramps within like the flag relay, and I've seen some just weird shit done from random scouts. I don't know if you have any input on that.
I'm not that good at Congestus, but I can at least show you how to one duck through the grate, which is probably the most important thing on that map.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I would normally just prime immediately. Here, prime, ramp slide, wait here. Hit your head, and you want a one
Enemy
duck here,
has
but
your
didn't get it that
flag.
time. One, yeah, I don't know what's going on. They might have changed something actually. You used to be able to do that, and that was super important. Let me try a couple more times.
Enemy
I'm not
has
sure actually.
your flag.
There we go. Let me try to figure out what's different about the approaches. So I don't play this very often. Yeah, you want to be, I think you have to land a little bit forward on the grate. You can't be before the grate. So here, slide a little. Want to be forward on the grate, hit one duck. I think you have to duck. Let me try without it. Yeah, it's insta stuck if you don't. So that's probably the most important because yeah, I mean that's the whole point of the duck is it takes your feet off. It's like much a game glitch as bunny hop is.
Enemy flag has returned.
Oops. It's only like the major trick I know. If they're covering both top entrances, you might have to do something like this.
Enemy has your flag.
I don't know. I'm not very good at drop conks. But you can hit that, you can get up here and toss. You can do stuff like this when it's down. Try to get close. Go up. Don't suck though. This is one of these maps where it's important to have lagless timers so you can get those tall conks consistently. Try to double here. One and duck down. I would say this is the most important one. Except hit the flag.
The enemy
Get a
has
chance you can go all the
your
way out like this.
flag.
But I think it's pretty rare if they're set up.
The enemy flag has returned. The enemy team captured the flag. The enemy has your flag.
Make sure you toss it in the hole at least once during the round. Yeah, you do have to watch out for that if you're tossing down. Be like a little bit this way. I don't think I have much else to say on this one. We don't play it a lot. It's like I don't have like a precise placement for conks there.
Your flag.
But I think you can practice double conks like a conk map here. Those can be interesting.
Yeah, double conk Doug showed us that conk.
This
It was
map.
like it was like at the bottom of the ramp. That's where he placed it.
The enemy flag has returned.
Even though I failed that one, I got just enough past that you might have had the flag anyway. But yeah, that great. If you don't hit duck, you're just stuck there.
The enemy has your flag.
Have you done a lesson on like
The
ladder
enemy
strafing?
flag has returned.
No.
So some people just like hold W up the ladder, but it's actually faster to like turn and strafe like this. So it's W and right, forward and right, or forward and left if you go the other way. You have to like slightly readjust with your mouse sometimes.
Yeah, it's like wall strafing up a ladder.
Nothing.
The enemy has your flag.
I guess how like for conks, how many conks do you do that is scripted that you know you're gonna do, and how many times is it going to be like on the spot thinking? Like your success rate, I guess.
You want a game plan for every map. So like on this map, like the only game plan I had coming in today was that conk. But like if it's not working out, you gotta do something different. So you definitely have to have general skills that you can apply in a situation.
The enemy has your flag.
And just improvising like that. Like if you're quick and you can conk precisely and get to the flag quickly, generate opportunities, you're gonna coast the flag eventually. Just the more runs you can get in, the better. You just have to know your limit. Like if you're really trying to win and they've got a good heavy, they're seeing you coming, you just can't get to the flag. You gotta go medic. But it's tough because you're not gonna be able to get to the level where you're useful as scout. Unless you basically lose the game for your team many times. Otherwise you're not gonna get to practice, right? So
The enemy
it's
has
tough.
your flag.
Yeah, Scout is just there's a huge skill gap because of all the precision, the speed, the skill that's required to be effective.
You'll see people getting like really worked up over like whether one duck should be allowed or not, but in my opinion, you like absolutely need it to balance scout at the highest level. It's like you just have zero opportunities against good demo man heavy without it. I mean, you'll get some, but like to make up for not playing medic, most maps it doesn't. Just really need that extra oomph to make it more dangerous. That's just my opinion. Some people really don't like it. I guess there are jumps on this map. Actually, don't know. It's this one, right?
Yep.
Same all the way back.
The enemy
I don't think they're super
flag
hard.
has
If you're just like anywhere close to max, you should make it. Maybe try 2 Mesa. I sometimes play Scout on that.
Okay.
This is another map where you gotta know your limit, and if nothing's happening, go medic. I have a few runs I like on this. Especially if soldier's pushed. I like to conk him up like this, like he's here. You boost him, so you pick an angle. He's here blocking, you pick like here. And when you conk up, his angle is gonna boost him over here. He's out of your way. And then you're in. And you have another conk primed. You're immediately primed. Like juke and then try to go for the toss. Something like that.
has your flag.
I think everybody knows this one. It's
The enemy
kind of difficult to
has
do.
your flag.
It's much easier to scout than medic though. There's a few others. I kind of like this play. And I hide. And I get up. I find that that's a much easier play than to try to force the double conk to work.
The enemy flag
Ready to boost him
has
up.
returned.
Maybe Nuki if you come play here. And show exactly how that works. I think everyone has the right idea, but
Okay.
it's good to see an example. You want to avoid making noise if you can, so he has no idea.
Flag has returned.
No, pretend you have no idea now. See, he's over there. Now, it's only going to work a few times, most likely. Unless you're playing against Hamster. But like, if you play against good people, they will adapt, so like, use it, you know, sparingly.
Yeah, generally they would be looking at the battlements. So distraction is probably the best.
So, often they'll also be playing in the flag room, and you can just run by sometimes. So if he's playing back now, sometimes you can just get by him because they're expecting medics and they'll shoot forward or something. But it can be tough to play scout against a good top soldier. But if things are happening, you'll be able to get into the flag room quick. Like if people are tossing, you know, it's a good conk to get the next toss and the next one. It's pretty much gone at that point. Because things are a mess in the ramp room. The trick on Mesa is usually just getting the flag down, and sometimes the second toss if it's down the back. Hide. especially if they're
Enemy
distracted,
has
you know, that can
your
be a very
flag.
successful play. I'm able to do that even at high level, usually.
The enemy
You try to
has
go out
your
bats like this way
flag.
if they're not ready for it. Do not conk over the pit. I think most people understand that, but there's not really any need to. You want to conk over this way. You get shottied midair like this, falls down, obviously. Hannah's really hot, by the way.
The enemy flag has returned.
I don't have much else to say on 2 Mesa. I mean, more could be said about the double conk. I'm not really an expert on it. I do it occasionally. I'm not super precise about. I missed. I think unless it's something you want to dedicate a lot of time to practicing, it's not justified.
The enemy flag has returned.
Close. I'd say I'm like 50-50 or maybe 40%. So I don't usually do it that often. I think if there's not enough pain going on in the flag room that you can't get up another way,
The enemy has
successfully
your
hitting that is not
flag.
going to help you because Demo Man's going to be up there and Gun's going to be up, and odds are he's going to see you float up and he's going to be like, okay, and you're dead. So it's a pretty conk. I think it's more effective as medic to force your way up there so you can DM things. There we go.
The enemy has your flag.
But good soldiers will block the side of the ramp. Then there are water runs, like if water's blown, you can try a water run, but I think it's better to do that as medic, so you have more opportunities if they're ready. But I see a lot of people, they do this. Something like that. You can do that here as well. You usually will not have time, because soldiers gonna be waiting for
The
you.
enemy flag has returned.
Something like that, but you know, see how much time that requires. Like they're hearing the conch like bounce around here, right? Unless this, you know, they're all running around in here, they're staring right at you.
Returned.
So it's like only if things are a mess that you can go for that.
Alright. Time check. An hour and 30 minutes now.
The enemy has your flag.
Yeah, I'm good to call it unless you got any other last questions.
No, thank you, Cheese and Uki.
Yeah,
Yeah, thanks, guys. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Cheese, for talking about Scout.
yeah. Just remember, don't get too good, or people will be angry. That's the main takeaway.
Especially Doug. He's in the chat as well.
I'm teaching things to Nuki's Nuggies, Nuggy Fortress, Nuggy Gigil. That's right. I don't know, something to do with Nuki and Nuggies and TFC. TFC 101.
Yep.
Hannah wants me to play games with her now. She's jealous of all of you.
Alright, we won't take any more of your time. Thank you, Cheese.
You are most welcome.